Hi everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aubrey Urbanowitz with your Massanutten and Dental Fastcast, and we're going to focus on this midweek system. It's called an Alberta Clipper, and what clippers are, they're typically fast-moving systems. These are sharp cold fronts that come from Alberta, Canada, and usually they bring a drop in temperature, sometimes some gusty winds. This one's a little bit different. It's a clipper, but the main part of the clipper is going to stay to our south. Then it's paired with this upper low. What that means is, well, because it's coming in from Western Canada, there's not going to be a whole lot of moisture with it. Typically, clippers can bring some snow, some light snow amounts across the Allegheny Mountains, across some of the higher terrain, and they can bring maybe a dusting or some light snow across the rest of the area, but it all depends on temperature. The colder it is, the more snow it can bring, but basically with this system, temperatures are going to be hovering around and just above freezing, so do not expect a whole lot of moisture. In fact, I can probably forecast and predict that many of you will be very disappointed with this next system outside of some of the higher mountaintops. So what I'm expecting is temperatures to stay above freezing for Tuesday evening. We're going to be cloudy and dry for most of the day on Tuesday. Then after about 9-10 o'clock at night, we should start to get some flurries across the area. Most of this is going to be on the light side. We'll have some scattered flurries and even some light snow showers as we get into Tuesday evening. Now, because temperatures are above freezing, we can still get snow with temperatures above freezing. But how thick that melting layer is, we have a lot of cold air above the surface. We may have a few raindrops mixing in at times either Tuesday evening or more so into Wednesday morning. So some flurries and some scattered light snow showers, and it may be a little steadier across some of the higher mountaintops, things along Shenandoah Mountain, along the Blue Ridge, along the Alleghenies. Outside of that, it is going to be light and very scattered, but temperatures are above freezing. What that means is that really reduces any road issues. To have a lot of slick roads, you really would ideally want temperatures well below freezing, 31 more so and below. But most of the roads will just be wet. We'll have some slick spots across some of our mountaintops, as well as some bridges and overpasses, which can cool down a little bit more than the regular asphalt temperature. Overnight, we're still going to see some very light flurries, but keep in mind the track of this system, if we start to see this clipper driving a little bit more south even, really more so through eastern Tennessee and into the Carolinas, this means even less flurries for most of the area. Temperatures on Wednesday morning will kind of hover right around and above freezing. So again, where we have some flurries and some light snow, most of the roads will be wet. We'll have a couple of slick spots, but not widespread. And we'll still have some lingering flurries into early Wednesday morning. Most of that probably done by about maybe 7-8 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll have maybe a couple of spitting flurries throughout the rest of the morning hours. So not a whole lot. And then keep in mind, temperatures are going to rise to above freezing Wednesday afternoon. So I would say outside of the Alleghenies, any accumulation is pretty much going to melt. So overall, this is what I'm looking at. Flurries and a couple of lighter snow showers. This is late Tuesday evening, overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, into very early Wednesday morning. And even after about 8 o'clock in the morning, we can have a couple of flurries here and there. For the Alleghenies, I'm looking at 1 to 3 inches. Okay, that's for the Allegheny Mountains. Now, a lot of our mountaintops around and above 2,000 feet, for the most part, a trace up to about 1.5 inches. All right, and then isolated higher mountains up to about 2 inches, and elsewhere, well, yes, this is the disappointing part. This is where some spots will not even pick up any accumulation. So some areas will only see a couple of flurries. You may not even see any flurries at all, but we could see accumulation across the valley, lower elevations, 0 up to a trace, a little light dusting, maybe 1/2 inch at most. So if we map it out, this is kind of what I'm looking at. So again, the Alleghenies outlined 1 to 3 inches because that's where snow is going to continue into Wednesday. Outside of that, Highland County, Pendleton County, along Shenandoah Mountain, Great North Mountain, those higher ridge tops, especially on the western side of the Shenandoah Valley, that can see snow a lot of times when we have these western systems, that's where I expect maybe a trace, again, up to 1.5 inches. It's going to be isolated up to 2 inches, okay? Most areas are going to pick up a trace up to 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and then isolated up to 2 inches, and that also includes the Blue Ridge. Outside of that, those non-shaded areas in Grant, Hardy County, and the rest of the Shenandoah Valley, again, you may only see a couple of flurries, maybe up to a very light trace in some spots, and at most, it would be 1/2 inch. And I really think that would be kind of concentrated in our southern areas because this system is kind of starting to drop to the south. So set your expectations low. Don't expect a whole lot. As far as any road issues, it's going to be pretty minimal. And then anything that would lay on some grassy areas is pretty much going to be gone in the afternoon. And then we'll see more sunshine on Thursday.